and it leverages quite heavily the Vert.io project. I believe the author is here in the room, and that's maturing quickly and entering the tree. And if you're not familiar with Vert.io, it's a more or less standard out there that's implemented in Linux and other systems. Is Microsoft using Vert.io? Okay, very well. So not yet universal. In all practicality, if you want to try Beehive, it requires a slightly modified FreeBSD guest, primarily for getting it to boot as opposed to execute, which is quite good. Like many of the solutions we looked at, it uses disk images for guest storage. Like Zen, it uses an external kernel and a few support files to get going. And you'll have a boot directory just like a traditional host that's external to the disk device. To get it moving, there's use a root SO and starting it with whatever script you want to use. For developers out there, here's a quick summary of the modified components and host components out there that allow for it to happen. There's a Beehive utility, Beehive load utility, VMMCTL utility, front end of the character dev interface, and key point, the kernel module, which allows for all of the leveraging of the hardware assistance. There are a few components modified for the guest, but it's not too crazy. They're pretty easy to keep track of. A kernel conf is generally with most modules and devices disabled because you do not require them and will not be seeing them in hardware. To run it, you need Subversion and an updated binutils, which is primarily, I believe, the GNU assembler, which is required for the new hardware assistance features. There are some licensing issues that need to be addressed there, such that if you are a Clang LLVM and assembler developer, let's talk to the team and see what options are there. There is a host package out there. Again, a guest is built without modules. It's pretty straightforward. And with many of those solutions, at launch time, you would subtract memory from the host. With Beehive, you, in your loader.conf, specify how much memory will, actually I think you do that in Zen too. You specify how much memory goes to the underlying host, and that frees the upper memory for guests. This is the output prior to it giving you a standard boot screen where you